Welcome. We know that you have different things to share with us today, and we are grateful for your presence and your wonderful connection and bond to both of us. Share with us, who is this right now?
It's Sekhmet standing in front of me, and she's standing with a spear, a huge, like a spear, like as tall as she is, and she's got armor, but the armor, she's holding the armor. So if you see a shield in front, and you can slide your hand in the metal in the back, and you hold that, and behind her are thousands and millions of souls, and she's standing as the warrior for all of them, like a goddess, but she's putting the shield down, and she's saying that too many people are living in this current day and age, and they are holding shields in place. She said it's time to put your shields down and go. And she's saying that when she showed us on Friday the North Star and the compass and the heart, she said it's time for people to go into the heart, go into the North Star and follow that. And she said it's very apt that you and I speak about truth all the time. And she said there are so many on this earth plane at this moment that are holding their truth. They're not speaking it. And she said they are carrying it. And she said that shield, when they're shielding themselves from the truth of telling their truth to others, she said if you had to hold that shield in all its metal, as heavy as it is, how long would you actually be able to hold it like that without becoming weary, without the arms really struggling, without the shoulders taking strain? And she said it is really time for humanity to ask themselves. And she said, I have spoken about this before. She said, who are they living for? Why are they living? And what are they living for? And she said, and she's taking me straight to the throat, and she's purring like that cat, that lioness that she is. And she says, when a cat is happy, it purrs, doesn't it? There's like a soft, gentle purr emanating. And she said, there are very few that are purring at the moment. She said, there's much discontent in the lands and within. And she said she wants to speak about land and lands, and she wants to have a play on words. And she says, what is it that is landing in you? And what is it to be on the land or any given land? And why would humans think that one land is superior to another? She said, for each of them holds their own vibration, as do you. And she said, it is time for harmony within and without. But she says, how can there be harmony on the land when there isn't harmony within? And she's taking me back to her words when we were in Egypt, just before we went onto the Nile River. And she said this was a small gathering, a small group that she said she brought us together. She was part of the collective that was already behind us then. She said, when I first felt the pull and the call for Egypt, she said that was her sending her vibrations along and wanting us to be there so that we could step into this time, space, reality now with her words, now that we are ready, now that we are aligned. And she said, she told us then in the hotel on the bed in Luxor that we brought this group together at that time to create more harmony and more peace for the earth, to open up the portal and let that new energy in and to dissipate the old. And she said, and yet there was dissension in the ranks in that small group. And she said, not to worry, that we were in the presence of the Queen of Compassion. And she said, this is a time for compassion for oneself, to forgive oneself for holding on to all she's saying humans always call it mistakes, but they call it learning. All the times, she said, that you beat up upon yourself and say, if only I had done this, if only I had done that, if only I had said this, I should have, this situation wouldn't have happened. She said, but that's how you learn, that's how you evolve. She said, all these situations have happened. She said, and she's showing me that as we were starting this session, she showed me the DNA coming out of my crown, and it was spiraling like a ladder, and she calls it Jacob's ladder, this beautiful twisted ladder all the way to the heavens. And next to it, she had an ordinary ladder, and behind that, two huge pillars. And she said, this is the connection, the DNA, the ladder that's going all the way to heaven. And she said, there is compassion on each level. And she said it gets lighter and lighter the higher you go. And she said that's because the higher you go, the better the view that you have of the situation. So she said, as you evolve, as you become aware, as you become conscious and an observer of self, then you can look back and you can see that all those situations that you were beating yourself up about were taking you to that next step on the rung of the ladder. So she said, stop carrying all that weight. She said, it is time to give thanks to all the people and all the places and all the experiences and all the grievances and all the joy and all the hurt that has actually formulated itself into this beautiful, and she's almost showing me like a puzzle, all the little pieces that are coming together to form your picture. So she said, don't hold the angst inside about anything. She said, what you've got to do is think, who am I now? What am I now? What is it that I wish to be? What is it that I wish to see? What is it that I wish to do? And she said, and put all the old away. She said, and she said that I was speaking earlier with Laura and about suitcases on a railway station. She said, put them all in a railway station, put them in the suitcase, pack them away beautifully, and let them get transported. And she's showing me the Harry Potter train that pulls in and on the way to Hogwarts. And she said, that Hogwarts Express is going to pull up in the station. You're going to put all the suitcases in there, and they're going to be taken away, and they're going to be transmuted. And it's going to be magical when you realize that you can put all your woes, your troubles, your angst in a suitcase on the Hogwarts Express. She said, it'll just become lighter and lighter and lighter.
Thank you so much for that expression. I love how you mentioned Jacob's ladder, because I went and had a look, and it's our tendency to climb higher and higher. And the symbolic connection of the staircase is the connection between heaven and earth. It represents progress, ascension, and spiritual passage through the levels of initiation. And I want to go back to how you brought us, and thank you for bringing us to Egypt, because it's interesting how we're all being taught, and Jill and I speak of this all the time, that we're not here to be on a pedestal. We're not here to have followers. We're here to be together, to come together. Yet there's still a bit of unraveling, I think, that is happening, not only from my perspective, but within what happened in Egypt last year. The group is in a dynamic, beautiful, open-hearted group. And I said to Joel the other day, aren't we blessed to have such incredible humans come together? Because energetically, the energy still flows in text messages, and but there still feels like there's a little bit of disruption. And would you say that is a fair observation, or have we as a group come together now in our alignment of what needed to be done at that time?
We see where you are looking at, and we say that you are seeing what is not there.
Mm-hmm.
All has been cleared.
Mm-hmm.
There are those that are on their paths, and it's not for you to look at another's path. When Jill was standing in front of me in my temple, and she saw me casting my eyes down, I told her, do not take this to be demure, for I am not demure. But I'm showing you how when you look down, you are focused and you are on your path. It is not for anyone to worry or carry another, for they are on their own path. We say, first clear the stones on your path, and then you may look to another's path. When the other comes to you for guidance, then you may cross over to their path. But until they ask, we have told you, and this one before, that then is ego.
Mm.
So walk in your path, walk in your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Worry not what another says or does. Keep your eyes, see where the boulders are. It'll take all your energy to clear your own boulders. And when one comes across and says, oh, I see a boulder on your path, may I assist? You then can say, no, I'm okay, or thank you for caring. Yes, in actual fact, I would like some assistance. But please note, they don't come in and say, I see you doing this and this. I think that's wrong. That's not the way I would do it. I would do it like this, because that is what we term unsolicited advice. Do you see the difference?
I do, and that's, would you say, is where ego takes over?
That is when ego takes over. And when ego steps in, the one that is on the receiving end of ego usually backs away.
Mm.
It is not embraced, because one then feels, when one is being attacked by ego from another, that the one that is ego driven is feeling superior, and somehow they are finding fault what is within your lane. But we say, let them go back to their own lane. Every now and then there will be a bridge between the lanes, and you might meet in the middle and enjoy each other.
Mm.
But each one of you have come here to experience everything that is on your lane, your pathway, your express. Now, some people may take a longer journey. They may stop at many places along the road, and others just want to get on with it. So it is not for the one that stops along the way to say, you're going too fast. You need to take more stops. Or for you to say to them, you're stopping too often. You need to go faster. For each vehicle, each vessel is structured differently, is unique. Their light, their sound, their frequency, their pattern, their sacred geometry is running differently on the tracks, on the train tracks. So when one has been built for a superhighway and the other one is being built for a 1920s roadway, one won't be traveling the same. But one is not right, one is not wrong. You are all placed on the road that you are supposed to be on.
Mhm. Well, thank you for that, Sekhmet. And I wanted to find out the mission that we went on. Have we created that opening in that portal of what you had wanted from us?
Many changes have now begun. The ripple effects are far and wide. And it is not necessary for you to know how far or how wide. But what is important is that you managed to get 22 people from 11 countries that felt the calling. They responded to the vibration that I had set within them, and they came, did they not?
They did.
So they were aligned within themselves. They wouldn't have been able to explain to you exactly what it was, why, but it was a feeling.
Mm.
And many will feel this feeling within themselves to do many different things. But how many will follow through with the feeling and make it happen?
Mm.
This is why we are saying we want the shields to be put down. We want the hearts to be opened. We want the voices to be opened. And it's time for truth telling. For if one does not speak one's truth through fear, one will be left holding and holding. And when one does not speak one's truth, we told this one this past week that it is a betrayal. You know, so many humans speak about how others have betrayed them, but how often do they betray themselves every day? How often do they betray the beauty of whom they came to be, and yet they hide? Oh no, I can't do this. I'm not enough. I'm not brave enough. I'm not courageous enough. I can't say that. What will people think? And that's why we say, who or whom are you living for? You didn't come to live another's path. You came to be all that you came to be. So it is time to find one's voice through this portal of light and let your words be heard, your truth. But you see, many are not courageous at this stage in their lives because they are staying in situations, often with a partner, through a monetary value because they are too scared to leave that situation and go out on their own. So they say, but how will I cope? How will I pay for the rent? How am I going to put food on the table? I'm not going to be able to enjoy the lifestyle I once had. But are they enjoying the lifestyle when their hearts are not free? This is a question that each of them know. They know it in their hearts. And every single day that they betray themselves, they put another little stab in that heart in that precious heart. And eventually, a few will get what is called a heart attack because they have attacked their hearts so many times. They betrayed their hearts so many times that eventually the physical human heart won't be able to continue to beat because it's been stabbed. It has so many leaks. So its energy will
Mm.
just float away. So do they choose to live or do they choose to die? This is a very important question. For Michelle, we would like to say many are physically alive, but many are dead in their hearts.
Mm. I can completely resonate with what you've just said, and I keep getting the word flash to me: tombs, tombs, tombs. And I'm not too sure where it's going to lead us to and guide us to and what you have to share with us. But I know my husband and I were watching a simulation of old ancient history the other day on YouTube, and it was really well generated, done through AI. And Jill and I were having this conversation around AI yesterday, and also, the energy. I mean, even your essence of your energy in ancient Egypt was that the mummies were mummified, and their essence, would be felt, would be resurrected. So tell us about the energy around the tombs and around the energy of what we're experiencing in today's times, please. But let's start with the tombs.
Well, energy, as you know, never dies, never ends. It is constant. And one's energy always leaves an imprint in time, space, reality. And that is why when you step into these ancient buildings, these ancient lands, you as a sensitive being can connect and feel into everything and everyone that was there. Because we say it is a living library. It is like a hologram one can step into. When this one came to visit me at my temple, did you not step forward and feel the need for protection?
Yes, I did.
Right. So what is it that you were stepping into? What is it that you were feeling?
I remember coming in way as we came into to the temple, even before we came into your specific room. I kept saying to Jill, I'm not too sure why, but I feel like I'm stepping into your lane and I feel like you need protection. And those are the last words I recall. Those are the last words and then Jill and I walked together. So I think, I don't know, I feel like it's a black and white word, protection. Like, what does protection actually mean? Like, you're a protector. But what does protection actually mean? Did Jill need protection? Was that my ego talking? It was just interesting how I kept saying, like, I feel like I just want to wrap you. I just want to hold you. I want to protect you. And I still to this day, I'm not sure why.
Well, did we not tell you just now when she saw Jacob's ladder with the DNA going to the heavens and the ordinary ladder next door and the two pillars to the side?
Mm.
And we have told this one before that she's a pillar of strength and you are a pillar of strength. And as pillars that stand firm, you are bringing in your pillar to hold her and to hold the energies as she was connecting with all those beings that were coming through her. She
Mm.
immediately was there with Akhenaten and with Nefertiti, going through all the pillars, through all the entrances, going through the eye of wisdom, doing what we are calling incantations, and holding the space. For you did not know that there was a God behind her watching you as you were going through that process. And because you were standing there, you were her eyes, you were able to see, and you had the need to press record. For she would never have remembered everything that she was being shown and everything that she was seeing, stepping into that energy. And we come back now to tombs. Tombs are a place where energy is stored of the great ones that have left the earth plane physically, but their energy imprint is still residing in those areas.
Thank you for sharing that with me. And it's I always find this incredible, and it's not even about questioning how everything overlaps each other, because you talk about imprint, and I'm now wanting to ask you about implants, okay? Because I was watching something earlier on around how many have been implanted, and it's been discovered that there's metabolic activity. Is this true for a few humans that have been, or maybe many humans that have been implanted by extraterrestrials?
This is correct. So what happened with this one? She had been to Peru and she met new humans whom she hadn't met on this current Earth timeline, but had known from previous timelines. And the one decided to hold what you term a meditation. And as she was doing the meditation with this one over Zoom, immediately she saw this white being in front of her that almost looked like a python, white python neck, but what you would term like a gray alien with the head, but with the same big slanty eyes and white, everywhere white. And she got such a fright, and she suddenly got backache, and she didn't enjoy this at all. That evening, she woke up to this white python with a big head again, and she was wide awake. And we helped her to wake up because this particular being wanted to put implants into her code. And we didn't wish for this interference. And so that being that she had met from Ecuador in Peru, that on that particular day had set the meditation, had almost worked with her in alignment synchronistically to make her aware of what was about to come, like a precognition.
Mm.
And this happens, this is what we term interference, where they will see a bright light, they will get curious, they will come forward, they will want to take a look, and then they will want to see if they can twist or turn a dial and change a frequency by coming in and putting in an implant. But this one was able to negate that. And then we taught her how to protect, we want to use that word again, protect herself, like a shield. So we're going to give this to the audience again. So if you can imagine a pyramid on the top and a pyramid at the bottom, one going clockwise, one going anti-clockwise, covered in gold, going extremely fast. And put yourself and visualize yourself in the middle of these two, right in the middle. So you're actually inside the pyramid, both pyramids, and you in the driving seat, and it's just shimmering and it's gold. And as it goes in both directions, it'll be cutting through anything that doesn't belong in your system, and you set your intention. So you can do it at the beginning of the day, or you can do it at the end of the day, and you can lie there and you can say, put me in my Merkaba now. Activate, please. Golden light. And please go faster than the speed of light. And anything that is not to my highest good, please slice through it now and remove it. And it'll be done. We call it the cloak. And that is how we cloak ourselves when we come to you. We are able to not be seen. So this is a form of cloaking, so that those that wish to come and put in an implant as such will be cut off. They will not be able to access this energy system.
Thank you for that, Sekhmet. So, based on what you discussed about Jill's interaction with that being in Peru, how does a human know that? Because great, we've got this wonderful. I'm just going to call it the light of protection, perhaps. And I think many people will sit on the fence because some people believe you don't have to protect yourself because we're in the light of God, we're in the Christ consciousness. But how do you know that these ETs are? How does our vibration feel that these ETs? Because Jill felt it. Jill is, in my experience of walking this journey with Jill, she's pretty in tune, and she holds an essence, so her vibration would have felt it. But how does someone who's perhaps starting out in their journey not know that, or yeah, how would they know?
Well, are we not holding now a conversation?
We are, yes.
Did I not say that I wish you both to use this body of work and for it to be called Sekhmet Speaks?
You did, yes.
And the reason that I am holding this conversation with you both at this time is specifically to teach those that are new to the path how to step into the light that they are, how to recognize their light, how to turn their volume up, and once again, how to be all that they can be. And so, as we go through this body of work, I will give more and more exercises so that they can look after themselves, so they won't get interference. Because how does one ask a question that one doesn't know what the question is that they need to ask?
Sorry, it feels like me. So thank you for calling me out. Like I kind of go in circles, but I can see, it in my third eye, and that is, I think, the the word that's coming to me is investigative. It feels like we're going to be investigating, and I love how you said the body of work, because we are a body of work. So it feels like we're going to be investigating the questions.
Yes, and this is what you're using a very good word, investigate, to go in
Mm,
and to look around.
mm.
This is a body of work. You are a body of work. This is your body, and it is work. You have come to discover who you are and what you are and what you are capable of, and to stretch yourself in all ways. And so, as people hear my words, they will be able to go on an exploration, go on an archaeological dig of self. And as they do this, they will then get what is called self fulfillment, a fullness of self. For
Mm.
many at the moment are running on empty. They are feeling empty, for they spend not time within and with self. They're always on the periphery, always on the outside. Who's doing what? What's happening over there? But they haven't even looked at the home base. And yet everything starts with the home base. What is the base looking like? And that's why we say always, you've got to start with the basics, with the A and the B and the C. And how do you even do that if you're not even speaking your truth? Then if you are not speaking your truth, how do you know that what you are seeing on the outside is the truth? Is that just a cover that you're being shown? Do you know about everybody else's books? As you have the Facebook, you have the Instagram, you have the TikToks, you have all these what you call social media. But it's not belly to belly. It's just a book cover. And so you look at the highlights of the reels that everybody is projecting, but you don't see the story. You don't see the contents. And so you look at the glitz and you look at the glamour, and then you think, I'm not enough. And so you buy the new car, the new shirt, the new watch, the new holiday, and you think, okay, now I should be acceptable to the rest of the tribe. Now I'm keeping up. But you don't know at what expense or at what cost the other one is having to go through in order to have that holiday, that watch, that car, that dress. They might be spending months and months of what you term a human salary to put that image across at great expense to self so that they can keep up with the very one that is watching their image, for they are watching the other image. And it's nothing but an image. It doesn't have the depth. So that's why we want to say that this is now a time for going in, for looking into other people's books, for finding one's voice, for being vulnerable and saying, I'm struggling. I feel alone. I can't keep up this pretense anymore. This is where I'm struggling. I see that you've gone through a difficult patch. How did you get through this difficult patch? Are you able to help me? Everybody likes to help another. Everyone likes to feel needed. Very few can accept help. They don't like to ask. Many like to give and give and give, but it is so hard to receive. But there should be a balance between the two. So there's going to be a time when the great leveler comes, when everything will be laid bare, and there will not be all the shields up anymore, because everything will be raw, everything will be open, everything will be on the table. And we're showing Jill a picture of all the grocery cupboards in a kitchen and taking everything out of the cupboards and putting them on the table. Now, when it's on the table, everybody can see what's on the table. But if you go into somebody's home, you can't see what's in the cupboards unless you're invited to open up the table. So what is it that you choose? Do you wish to spend your life with your cupboard doors closed? Or are you going to put things on the table? Do you have things that you need to hide in the cupboards? What is it that you are hiding? What is it that you can't show? What is it that you are fearful of? What is it that you are ashamed of? It is time to put the shame down. It is time to start honoring this gift that you've been given. this life. We want you all to be able to live a life on the table and say, this is who I am.
I love what you're sharing with us now. And I'm just wondering, would it be an appropriate time, or do we leave it for another talk with you to speak about the great leveler? Because I feel like even the history that's happened in the week on the weekend with Trump and Robert Kennedy, and I loved one of Robert Kennedy's statements on social media was, "This is my spiritual journey." And do we open that up now, or would you like to leave what you have shared with us today?
But Kennedy speaks about a spiritual journey. Every single human has a spiritual journey, but how many of them are aware of it? So he has come with a huge vibration at this time. And he is definitely what we term an open book. He's putting everything on the table. And there are many who don't wish for what he has on his table to be seen by others. They are literally getting a big hand and swiping it off the table, for they don't wish for others to see what is on his table. But his table will be different to others. Regarding the great leveler will be here for all. And we are going to reiterate what we've said about this once before. If we tell you about the great leveler, what will you do differently that you are not doing now? What are your actions today? Are you speaking your truth? Are you opening up your heart? Are you taking away your burdens? Are you treading lightly through life as a light being, a being of light? Or are you being a heavy traveler? When the great leveler arrives, it'll be a tumultuous time for those who haven't opened the door, who haven't opened the heart, who haven't climbed Jacob's ladder, who haven't done the work. And that is why I'm speaking. That is why we are saying Sekhmet speaks. For I am representing a very, very, very large collective that are carrying and holding all the rays, all the colors, so that all may transmit through me. And because they are transmitting through me as a collective, a huge body of work, we will be able to reach many. So our hope is that our words that reach many through the pages will see the areas that need attention. And then it is for each and every one of them to step into their North Star, to step into themselves and realize how valuable they are, how beautiful they are, how wonderful their essence is, how beautiful their sacred geometry is, and say, how can I continue to betray the beauty of this essence? For my human vessel is the overcoat holding this beauty and this light. And you keep on thinking that you are the overcoat. But if you take the overcoat off and have a look inside, then you will start to see who or what it is that you truly are. And so we say, the great leveler is for you all. And when something is level, one is straight and one is balanced. So how balanced are you in every aspect of your life? Look at your relationships. Look at your finances. Look at your careers. Look at your health. Look at everything that pertains to a human life. You have a choice every day how balanced you wish to be. And yes, it takes work. What is it that you choose?
Thank you for that, Sekhmet. Is there anything else for today?
I think this is more than enough today.
We are so grateful for this connection, and I'm incredibly, I think the word is enamored for all of your teachings, all of you collectively together. And thank you for shaking up Jill's curtain, ruffling up those. And we will explain to the audience how this happened. Thank you again. I am in service and in so much gratitude for all the information. What would you like to call this one today, please, before you leave?
Opening the door to your light.
Thank you. And with that, Julie, start taking a big few breaths, coming back into your body, taking a few big stretches. So while you opening up those beautiful blue eyes, I wanted to know, would you be okay? I actually found the clip of us walking through towards Sekhmet's door. Would you be okay if I share it with everyone? Or is
Yes, I
that
don't have a problem with that. I just don't know whether they're going to be able to hear it over the sound of the birds.
your birds or my birds? Oh, the birds. Oh. You see, I can see Spirit Brain. Yawn. There she goes again. She didn't listen. Okay, let me see. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I felt it was so this was part of the temple. I was sitting outside. Can you see this, Julie?
Yep.
Okay. So interesting enough, when I go back and Jill and I go back into one of our previous sessions last year, this is what I was shown. And if you look here, here's the Eye of Horus, and I was sitting outside by myself. But let me see, do I go back? Back. No, it's forward, I think, hey, because often we share these experiences and then we forget to. Well, we've got, because I feel like even anybody watching this will feel into the energy. And what I wanted to, hold on, it's up and coming. Sorry. Okay, so this is us starting to walk. These are the seven pillars, isn't it, that we start to walk towards, from what I can remember. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's the seven. So you can see this now, Jill. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's this is where we started the walk, and Jill and I were walking together, and then she started to see stuff, and I almost want to say like vibrate, hey, to a certain degree.
Yes.
But let me just see if when Jill talks about the birds, you may or may not hear what she was sharing. what you're feeling.
Oh, you should see what I'm seeing.
What are you seeing? Tell us what you're feeling.
All the faces, all the tribes, all the nations from the beginning of time.
And you feel your heart pulsating.
And it's even more than that. They're just coming through, they're fading in, and the next one takes place, and the next one takes place, and the next one takes place. They said, be our voice, be our voice, be our voice, be our voice. It's time to unlock the voice. They showed me purple constellations of light.
Beautiful.
And then a chamber, walking into the chamber, walking into the chamber. The almond rock is there to meet me. The two chambers, left and right. Male and the female. There's a lintel above, which holds everything in place. It's a structure. The masculine and the feminine. And it's just columns and 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 columns. It's a pathway, a journey, right to the end, right to the end. And there's a triangle. The eye of Horus, welcoming us, opening up the light, putting in the key. I start opening the light to your journey. And I see the pyramid of the Sphinx face right in the middle of it, just coming through like a big light. All hold the light, but many haven't found their way to speaking truth. So they're not balanced. It's one-sided.
Bring the balance in. Bring the balance in, Julie. That's it. Kata, kiti, kata, kato, kata, kata. So the guy behind us, remember, didn't want us to, I mean, we've got 1 second left. But isn't that profound? Based on what we've shared today, what's come through, it's about balance.
And about the light and stepping in, and that's unbelievable.
So I find it so fascinating how we've been divinely guided to do this, because I even forgot that the Eye of Horus, when she was talking, I thought, hang on, I've got this on video. And then thought, oh, and I get goosebumps because I was like, oh, there's the Eye of Horus. I remember I got so excited. I don't know if you can remember, because I was like, Jelly, I saw this in our videos. Like they were showing me, there's one pillar and there's another pillar. I had no idea where we were. But
It's about the two pillars.
that's it.
They in the two pillars.
Oh my God, they did. Oh, wow, of course. So how profound. So just to give you guys a bit of understanding, if we started, and you would have seen Sue walk past Jill while I was videoing. We're walking towards Sekhmet's room, and it's a locked up room that we have to be guided into, like allowed into. And the reason why I stopped videoing is because we're not meant to be there as spiritual seekers. The guards don't like it. That was like one of the guards, and they have the guards everywhere in temples. And as much as we are, told to sort of hone it in. It's really, I think, at times quite challenging, where you just feel this energy like Jill did. So that was, I mean, going back, I don't know, like to the beginning of that temple, not those pillars, but that was where, that's where I felt the protection. I was like, Jill, I feel like I've got to protect you today. I don't know why. And I was like, I just want to hold you. And she's like, well, why? And I'm like, I don't know. And then that's kind of where we sort of walk together. And this is the beauty of just going into, I think, an ascended space, where you just led. And I wished I could have continued videoing, but that God came and said, no recording. They don't like us to record, because they're not, like I say, we're not meant to be there as these spiritual seekers. But I had forgotten. It's the first time. I mean, we've watched it, so that's why I was like, "What birds are you talking about?" Because the birds aren't as loud as what you had listened to when we listened back in. So it's interesting, hey, because isn't that fascinating? You were showing one of the gentlemen on our trip, and he was not really interested because we were at that store where you bought your beautiful jewelry. And I remember still thinking, he's really, but the birds were so loud on the video.
You couldn't
Isn't
hear
that
that. I thought if you
fascinating?
were going to play it now, there's no way you'd even hear one word. I'm just gobsmacked.
So it's fascinating because I was standing close by to you guys, to the two of you, and I remember him kind of just being like, oh, I don't know if I want to really watch this. And you were so intrigued by what was being shared with you. And the birds were just like blah, blah, blah. But now it's perfect. You can
But,
actually hear
see,
the bird.
but Mish, you know what else I find fascinating is that you are such an integral part of my journey, of my unfolding, because you were the one that said, what do you see?
Mm.
I didn't even know that I was seeing anything. And then the energy was so strong. I was so emotional with all those beings coming through me. It was so huge.
Mm.
And the same with Sekhmet coming through to us on Friday, saying that we're going to be doing this body of work. And you were then once again saying, what do you see? I mean, if you weren't doing that, I wouldn't have had that. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And we said this last week, is that we are not here to do this alone.
Yeah.
We mentioned Trish, we mentioned Alba, we spoke like everybody's an interconnection, a connection into all of our journeys. And we're not here to do it alone. Our egos might kick in and go, oh my, I met that person and that person walked along with me in my journey, and then they weren't there for me anymore. But the way I interpret it is everybody grows. Sekhmet said that today. They said that today, is that everybody grows in their own way, at their own pace, and there's all this connection. And that's the beauty of it, is I don't even question the why anymore. It just is. It's just like, I mean, Jill and I were chatting as we do, and my husband is often like, geez, that was a long meeting. I'm like, I know, right? It was a long meeting. Bunny, have you finished the website stuff? I'm getting onto it. I mean, Jill and I have been chatting for 2 hours, but she's like, whoa, the curtain just moved. And she actually got up and she went to look behind the curtain. And I was like,
Because
oh,
the door
look.
was open. Because there
And you
must have
did.
been wind,
Yeah.
but the door was closed.
Yeah. And you said, like, who is it? And then Jill said, I don't know. And then
But
I
it said Sekhmet in my head, but I felt stupid to say that because I thought, oh, she'll think I'm making it up. So that
and then I said Sekhmet.
then I'm
And
going,
then
I can't believe
yeah.
it.
And that's the beauty of just the trusting, and like this morning I've had the most incredible interesting day. But years ago I was shown, and this is what, when we really integrate what spirit shows us and aligns for us, and trust in the balance of life. Years ago I was shown that I was going to work with autistic children. And, our heads kick in and we kind of try and figure out how it's going to happen in a center, or it's going to happen in a clinic environment, or, you meet somebody who has a child and you're like, oh, they're going to, whatever. That's all ego. And the fascinating thing is, I mean, you led me to Joan, okay? Joan, beautiful Joan, who does the sound bowls.
This autism, Susie.
Joan gifted me this book, Awesomeness, which is by Susie Miller. And this is what I wholeheartedly love, is that we're all here to build one another. So this book was an absolute part of my 2020 journey of being in Johannesburg and getting back just before lockdown. And I mean, it's been on my bookshelf for all these years, and I've taken it out again, and it's all of a sudden it's on my desk, and it just hasn't made its way back to the bookshelf yet. So this morning, there's a beautiful friend who's been on quite a few of our online events, and I won't mention her name from a protection perspective because I don't have her permission in terms of mentioning her name, but she is a beautiful human being, and she has two autistic boys, and the one was in the session this morning. Well, it was her evening, our morning, and he gifted us the opportunity of working with energy and his energy and vibration. And it just was mind blowing. And I was so humbled that she trusted in how we were just guided to do things. Because it was like he felt me, and because he's nonverbal, he felt me, and then he kind of went out of the screen. And then I said to her, he's just feeling into my energy. Let's give him a bit of time. And oh my gosh, it just exploded in my heart. And I went, wow, this was shown to me like in 2019. And here we are in 2020. So we just never know. We just never know. And it was such an honor, Jill, to just work with this beautiful young man they just feel, they're just open. It's incredible to witness how there was a moment where we worked a little bit with her and her trauma, and as soon as she started to grieve, his vibration changed, and he came and he was touching her, and I was like, look, he's got you. He knows how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And that is the truth of, I think, what we're learning in this balance is when we really just show up, and it's been shown by masters for years and years and centuries, when we just show up and we observe and we hold. You and I have been talking about holding space, haven't we? And holding space is, and I laugh because you and I are often not silent, okay? But when we just allow, things just drop in. And I'm grateful to you and everybody else that's connected on our journey, because every single person has aligned with integrity, has aligned to trigger the shit out of me or not, or and to help me advance. And it's like this, it's like it keeps coming back. The energy will keep coming back until it just becomes like you showed. Like, how did you see your fingers in that at the ending? You kind of aligned. Do you remember you in the video, you sort of, and then you got there, and then I had to stop recording. But that's the truth, isn't it? The way, the truth, and the light.
And the word that Sekhmet used with me right in the beginning in my head, she said Trinity, because she said, well, something about why we're working together or something. And she said to me, Trinity.
Amazing. Wow.
Thanks, Mitch.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so excited for what's to come, and that she's giving us a body of work.
Yes, I know. A project.
That I was like, yes.
What a privilege.
Hey, aren't we just?
Yeah, I know. It's incredible. Yeah. No words sometimes, really, eh?
No.
Just when I thought life was back to normal.
What is your normal and my normal? I mean, Jesus, like Jill bought me this card. Look here, for my birthday, guys. It's amazing. I tried being normal once. Worst 10 minutes of my life. I was like, yep, that's fitting for both of us.
I love it.
I just love it. And it's such an honor. It really and truly is, to be able to sit here and explore, and just absolutely explore what, I mean, there's so much of the wisdom that has been shared, yeah, so thank you for allowing.
And you think, how can there even be more? Like, hey.
There always is, hey,
He's
because
always.
there's so much that we haven't even explored in terms of the quantum physicists said the universe is so vast. I mean, will we ever, ever, ever know how massive it actually is?
We've
Ever.
got lots to explore, lots, many, many lifetimes, and this is just a little drop, just a little drop in the ocean. How exciting.
I know. So it's about having fun, playing. I think myself, I've most certainly taken the spiritual journey very seriously at one stage. And then I just realized, like, we need to have fun in the hard work, because the hard work comes where you dive deep, and then it's like, whew, okay, like, whew, I'm done. And now we've got to have fun in the done.
Time to lighten up. I never used to understand what people meant if they said lighten up. But
No,
actually, it's quite double play on words, eh? If we are light, we should be lightening up, and light to light up.
absolutely. Well, it is. Yeah. How do we light up not only ourselves, but ourselves, and how do we light up others? And it's so simple. It's such a simple mathematical equation.
And you can't unless you're charged.
Pardon, say
You
again.
can't light yourself up or lighten anybody else up unless you're charged. You plugged in your generator and you're fully charged and rested and watered and
Absolutely. And sometimes it's humorous, but not humorous, because sometimes I meet people and they go, I'm a very happy person.
I see so.
And I can't help myself. I'll say, can you tell your face that? Because really, no, I'm very, very happy.
Why even need to make that statement? That's to me quite unusual.
Well, I suppose if you think about it, we've got to talk to ourselves. We've got to tell ourselves what is truth. She spoke of it today. We speak our truth, and so many times I was like, oh, I've got to keep asking her, what does that mean to speak your truth? Because speaking our truth could mean many different things for many different people. And when is it good to engage, and when is it good to put up the shield, and when is it good to take down the shield and engage? Because if you look at the word engage is, if you think of it from a war perspective, it's engaging. You've got to go to war, man. Like, bring it. But when we engage, there's a different way, there's a different harmony that we can engage in the energy.
An engagement ring.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Can be war engaging and an engagement which is lovey-dovey.
So true. See, such a play on words.
Yeah, what are you engaging in?
Yeah, I know. Pretty exciting.
Oh,
Jilly, we're going to have to put, Jill does past life regression, guys. You're starting to do future timelines in your regression as well. Future lives, am I right? Meeting loved ones in spirit under hypnosis. Beautiful sessions. You can find Jill at www.jillcole.org. Jill also has, and it's on my bookcase, I think. I sometimes normally have it next to me, but it's not here. Yeah, it's on my bookcase. The Discourse. Please go and buy it on Amazon. And if you want a session with a Council of Eight or myself, or you want to connect with loved ones who have passed over, please connect with me on michellecarpenter.co.nz. I was shown in the last few weeks that we're now open to receiving. And open to receiving means many different things to many different people. And we give and receive, and we give and we receive, and the cogs go all the way. And I know that we're stepping into a new dimension of change. And that's where I feel like the great leveler is what's already out there, what's already in play. So come and play with us. We have a lot of fun. We dive deep. We dive deep, and we're a beautiful tandem team. If I can't help you in any way, I always suggest go to Jill or go to one of our beautiful friends. This is the connection in who we are. How can we grow one another? How can we bring us all together to grow? So please stay tuned. This is an excellent, I feel like it's a waking up. Ding, ding, ding.
yeah, even for me, hey, it's like, okay, got work to do, get on with it. Because, when I had a rest on Saturday afternoon, Greg had been skiing and everything, and then they took a spa, and then they were feeling tired, and they thought, oh, they'll just like have an hour's sleep. And I just couldn't sleep. So I decided to have a chat with Sekhmet, seeing as she just made her appearance on Friday. And I said, okay, what do you want me to know? And she said, dense nutrients. So I'm thinking, dense nutrients? What's dense nutrients? She said, you need to have more dense nutrients. So I got off the bed and I went to my laptop and I looked up dense nutrients. I thought, there is actually such a thing. And it's about the density, how many nutrients you get in one particular food as opposed to others. So like a avocado, pear, or meat or whatever, there's certain things. So that means you only have to have a little bit of food to really get the fantastic nutrients. And then you get empty nutrients like the sugars and the what do they call them, candies and fries and chips and biscuits and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, wow, okay. And she had said to us on Friday when she came through that you and I are going to have so much work ahead, like traveling and giving talks, etc., that we have to start looking after our nutrition. And I think actually it was more focused towards me, although she said we, because we've got to be match fit. So this is a body of work that we have to do, and we have to have our energy. In other words, we have to be light beings, not heavy, not dragging ourselves around. So it's like, it's quite a lot of work, eh? I mean, getting your mind, your body, and your spirit and physical, everything balanced.
That is, whew, and I hope that we get it right by the time we take our last breath. But I know for me, it's about the physical now, getting my body strong. And so, guys, feel into your bodies. What do your bodies feel like? I mean, I can highly recommend going on to Human Garage, have the most excellent nutrients like supplements with diamostaceous earth, which is silica, and I think the one's got ashwagandha in it, and it's to. Often they say that we are actually dehydrated. By the time we say we're thirsty, we're already dehydrated. Or like, oh, I'm thirsty. Your brain's already dehydrated. But often, because we're not getting enough nutrients, they say that often our cells aren't allowing the water to come in because we are a body of water. So it's just supplementing in the best way you can. Some people take a lot of supplements, but I always say body test. Just body test. Hold it against your heart, stand up straight, take a few breaths, and because your vibration knows, do I need this today? And if you go backwards, you get a no. Your body doesn't need it. If you go forwards, you get a yes. So that's what I do because our knowing knows. But how often does it say take two tablets 3 times a day, and we just follow? And this is what Jill and I want to teach, Jilly. Hey, it's empowering. This is all about empowering you guys. It's not about following or it's like, how can we empower all of us? Because when you guys feel strong and empowered, we get that energy back. We feel strong and empowered. And I know that we've leaned on each other in many ways, and we're very fortunate to have one another.
Yeah. And to me, it's like empower.
Mm.
The power within.
100%.
Empower yourself. Power
Yeah.
yourself up.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jill's now starting to think in songs as well, by the way, just letting you guys know that.
Oh my gosh, I did it again today.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, they gave me, I mean, I can't believe it. They gave me a song for somebody called Turn, Turn, Turn by the Birds.
I have no idea which that one is.
Yeah, but it was, I can't sing like you do because I don't have that kind of voice. But it goes, turn, 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 for every reason or for every season. There's a time in heaven, a time to die and a time to live, a time to sow and a time to reap, a time, to forgive and all that kind of stuff.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And
God.
so the lyrics, look up the lyrics to the Birds, Byrds, the Birds.
Okay. Ah, got you. Okay, yeah. And I've got Lady Gaga in my head. Ra 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 ta ta, ramba ramba ma, ooh la ooh ooh ooh. So, Check you in a jelly. Ra 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 da da ra da ra da da. Love you guys. Stay tuned. More up and coming, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. See you.
Oops, hold on. I don't need to end. Let's stop recording.